You have a vibe-coded app and you want to sell it online. After this video, you will be able to. I'm going to give you my 20 years of sales experience ranging from apps to newspapers to Airbnb and tell you what it takes to sell a customer your product. In a world where everybody has an app, maybe even similar to yours, you're going to have to find a way to cut through the noise. My name is rakidzich. I'm a business coach and my students have made billions of dollars all over the world, and my very first consultancy was saving newspapers. And believe me, if we can sell newspapers, we can sell apps, can't we? What I would like you to first do is try to create a mental model with me, and we're going to ask a couple of questions. We're going to ask, who can see my product? Who needs my product? Who understands my product? Who trusts my product? And who is capable of paying for my product? Let's go with those 5. So first, who can see your product? We do need to ask ourselves, where can we get found, or where should we get found with our product? The very first place that you might want to go to sell your vibe-coded product is probably in a Facebook group going Vibe Coders Anonymous or Claude Coders Worldwide, and you're making a Facebook post that says, hey guys, I just spent dozens of hours making this new CRM for vibe coders who are looking to make a CRM for vibe coders. Who knows, right? The problem is you're probably making a product for a specific pain, and you don't recognize who has that pain and where they would go to solve that pain. Otherwise, you have a fun product and you haven't put it in the market space for fun products. For example, if you made a game, the best way to sell that product is to get inside of the App Store, because that affects trust down the road. And iPhone is really strict about App Store stuff, so that's a journey. Otherwise, in Google Play, you can get there more easily. And then you'll want to be found where people are looking for games. So you can get on Reddit and get in like game review threads. You can get other places where people are playing games and try to get people to talk about you. You could even try to work with influencers who review games. This would be the context for games. But let's say you have a software as a service or an AI as a service. I'm a business owner with about a dozen properties and I'm very DIY. And if I was looking for something that could strap together a solution, I might go online searching, and I'll do Google search and I'll AI search with ChatGPT or Google Gemini. It might take me to a Reddit thread. I might find some stuff in a Facebook group when I'm searching. The concept of the prospect prospecting for a solution and you getting in front of them would be one of the most important things. Is who's my customer in the context of who I can solve the problem for? And so now ask yourself who that person is. Is it a business owner? Is it middle management? Are they even the decision maker? Do they have to send this up the line in their company? Is it for solo entrepreneurs? Who are you selling? And where would they go if they have the problem that you're trying to fix? For example, I made an AI as a service that helps Airbnb hosts make professional photos from their iPhone so they don't have to hire real estate agents. And my marketing campaign has been a series of things, including a Google ad. And my Google ad and my YouTube video and my Instagram video are all the same thing. And we're going to talk about the story that I told because it really drives us home. And then there's Facebook groups where we propagated that, and word of mouth from hosts that have used the product is another way that we've been growing. But we primarily have been profitable on one single ad that's on Meta. And this might be the case for you too. And so let's play the first 15 seconds of this commercial.
This Airbnb guest breaks a table and 2 chairs, and I've got to get that table replaced before the next guest checks in. And there's a whole bunch of problems. First, I can't find the same table, so I've got to buy a different one. It's not going to match the photos. 2, my reservations are back to back. I'm 100% occupied.
Number 2 is who needs my product, right? So we want to get in front of people who need our product and they need to see it. We're going to be seen by more people than the people who need it, but we're lining up our campaigns to be found by people who need us. And the people who need us need to recognize within just a hair of a second that that product is for them. Then we're going to generate the need inside of them. And so what I did in the beginning of this ad was an Airbnb guest broke a table and I've got a problem to solve, right? Any Airbnb host can identify with this struggle, right? I called out my prospect indirectly. This is a really cool sales technique. I could have started the video with, hey, if you're an Airbnb host and you had guests break stuff, I could have started like that, right? But instead, I took the personal testimonial route, and I'm telling my story as an Airbnb host about an Airbnb guest. And another Airbnb host will hear this and go, oh, this person's like me. So that's a really cool trick. Put that in your pocket, right? This is a great way to find people who need your product. And a lot of you who are vibe coding, you're probably vibe coding in a world that you understand. At least you should be. Because if you tried to make this AI software for Airbnb hosts and you've never been an Airbnb host and have not had Airbnb listings, you're going to fight an uphill battle against someone like me who has 11 years of experience, knows exactly what the photos need to look like, knows all the nuance, right? The battle for nuance is really all the power inside of vibe coding. We're going to talk about that in a separate video, okay? But now that the prospect understands that this ad or this post is for them, and they understand that this aligns with them, and they're willing to listen to the ad, and they're going to hear me tell my story about an Airbnb guest that damaged the furniture, I got to replace it, take new photos. I've made them realize that getting photos fast is a thing that they would need to have in this case, right? So I'm getting them to realize through an anecdote or through a story that there is a need for a software like this. I haven't said every single reason why they might need this, right? Do you have a new listing that's going to be up in a couple of weeks, but you don't have any furniture in there, so you might need to use AI to generate photos with the furniture in there? That could be another type of angle. And an angle would be expressing a certain type of need or pain. I could have done that. I could have said, hey, have you called every real estate photographer in your part of town and they all want $500 and you just think that's unreasonable? Would you like to do it for $35 or less? That would be another angle that expresses the need to save money, right? But instead, I used one really well-told story, and this ad has sparked purchases from all types of owners. And I promise you, it's not people who currently just bought a table and literally had to have a table replaced. That's not how storytelling really works. I designed my story to sell my vibe code product by telling a real life story that a host can relate to, that they have an emotion about. Hosts hate when guests break stuff. Hosts hate the stress of having to replace stuff on the fly. So they really identify with that. So that's my tip for you. When you tell a story, don't try to tell every story. Tell the most emotional story. And your client should identify with the story within the first 5 seconds like I did. And that allows us to go deeper into the sale, because now we're going from they see the ad, they need the product, and now they need to understand the product. So if we go deeper into the ad, you'll see me using my phone, playing with the widget, uploading photos, and then having photos in the backend show up, right? Completed photos. And the call to action is click a link, see the product, takes them to a website. Now here, the website reaffirms the promise of the ad. And now here's a real fun trick for you guys. If you have a website to sell your widget, your website can have 4 different landing pages with the different slug, right? Widget.com/problem A, widget.com/problem B, okay? Now problem A could be getting your photos really, really fast, right? Problem B could be saving money on these photos. Problem C could be get photos before you even have the property in your hands, right? These could be the problems, right? I could run 3 different ads. I could run the save money ad and funnel it to the save money landing page. That's a huge high-level marketing tip for you guys. It cannot be overstated how your top of funnel content and promise and storytelling needs to drip into your landing page or your conversion funnel with the same narrative. Please write that down, okay? But in our case, landing page A, which is get your photos in seconds, fast photos, there's going to be before and after examples. There's going to be a results part. There's going to be all of that. Now, here's my big tip for you guys too. You might still feel like you need to say it slices, it dices, it has all of these features, but in order to get somebody to buy something, you need to connect on the one thing that matters to them, and you need to do a clean job of it, and then you have to get out of the way. Do not continue to try to sell somebody who is already sold. And if they've clicked the learn more button from your content, they're pretty much sold. They just now need to understand and trust the product, okay? They've identified a need enough to click the button. I hope that makes sense. And if you're vibing with me on this, click the like button. Let's get to the rest of it. Now, people understand because of this landing page that they can just upload their Airbnb link and they're going to have before and after photos, right? So the before and after photos are really the understanding part of this. Now, the trust side for this product is the price point. There doesn't need to be a lot of trust because what they're finding is the photos are like $1.25 per photo. And because the product cost is so small and we've given them before and after results, that has met enough of the trust bar that I haven't had to do much other trust building in order to get the sale. But depending on your product, you may have a higher bar of trust to clear. I've actually seen customers upload one photo for $1.65 to get the result to see if they like it, and then immediately after, I'll see an order for like $45 where they finally upload all of their photos. People do this like stop and go thing. So I've won the trust for $2 with the website, and they just need to make sure, and then they're good. They're in to win. So in my coaching program, I sell a coaching program that's over $8,000, both in the Airbnb space and in the peptide space. I have an e-commerce product too. Both of those are ballpark just over $8,000. Both of those have a 30-day coaching guarantee. I have a promise for pre-existing Airbnb hosts. For anybody who's been a host for multiple years, they can start my coaching program for 1/10 the price, so less than $1,000, and I will coach them for a month, no strings. And if they want to continue, they can, because I'm making a promise to the buyer in the context of where their head is at. A host with like 4 years experience may go, you know what? I want my Airbnb business to do better, but I just don't really think coaches know much more than me. I just don't think I'd trust a coach. Like, there's got to be a better way to get this done. But there's no better way. They haven't found a product for less than $1,000 that solves their problems. They can't find a solution externally. So they know that they have to take some risk. And so what I've done is I made them a really juicy deal. I say, hey, I recognize that you know a lot. You've been a host a while. I'm giving you this price to prove to you that I'm worth it. And that's part of the narrative of the discount. And so write this part down too. You can give someone a discount or a special deal and tell them why you're doing it and build a narrative around that give that you're giving somebody. So there are people who have like a money back guarantee, but that money back guarantee could also have a back end offer. Like, for example, I've got a program called Pricing School. It's a smaller program. It's less than $300 for hosts to learn price. And I say in Pricing School, you will either get value and you will make more money as a host, or not only will I give you a full refund, I will give you a coaching session for free. And I'm staking my reputation on the fact that I'm good at this, and people who see me and see my reputation know that that coaching session has a value. So I know that's cheating in my space. You may not have that authority, which means you'll have to find something else to give somebody in order to make them feel like their wasted time has been accommodated. But a no questions asked guarantee money back is a pretty nice way to start, at least. And here's a warning for you about trust. If you have your vibe-coded website have vibe-coded trust signals that everybody has seen, like I saw some guy selling peptide coaching himself, and his lovable website had 4.95 stars out of 5, 2,400 operators have already redeemed this thing. That's not true. Lovable always does 1,200 this, 2,400 that, 4.9 stars, and anybody who knows anything saw that this was fake, and we were all trolling the guy in the comment section. So do not use fake lovable reviews with fake lovable testimonials. It's just actually going to burn you on the back end. So try to really earn some testimonials first, which means you may need to go to beta and put your product in somebody's hands and get real life use cases, which we will talk about here in a second. But let's review. This is all a sales funnel, by the way. You'll notice there's awareness. People need to be aware of your product. Now, for them to even consider your product or be interested, they have to identify a need or a gap that you can fill. Somebody has the need to not be bored, to have a little bit of dopamine. Somebody has the need for a feature that solves a problem, right? There's going to be a need there. Your ad or your content, your personal testimonial being the strongest of them all, can tell the specific story about why your product really does the job that it's supposed to do, right? Including having fun playing a game. You can have a personal testimonial of how much fun you're having with your game, by the way. This actually still does work. So attention, need-based interest and consideration. Then you need demo copy, demo assets, walkthrough stuff. I'm building a competitor to N8N, and we've got a whole school where you can do multiple levels like a game, where you can learn to use our N8N competitor one level at a time with progressing difficulty for free on our website. And it shows some of the coolest capabilities, but the coolest capabilities can't be shown on level 1 because people don't even know what the product is. So they make a little like N8N style widget on level 1, 2, and 3. And then level 4, we introduce a really powerful feature called a wrapper, but people need to know like level 1, 2, and 3, for example. So you can create like scaling education that helps people get a deeper and deeper relationship. And the reason why this might matter for you too is the bigger your product is or the more expensive it is, the more time people need to consider the sale. The $8,500 coaching program I have, people don't see me and then 5 seconds later buy a coaching package for $8,500. They don't do that within an hour, almost never. It takes a lot for somebody to really like earn that trust with you. There's a guy, Dan Locke, way back in the day said for every $1,000 someone spends with you, they need to watch about an hour of your content, right? I don't know if that's exactly true, but there are definitely gateways to consideration here. So if you have an expensive product, maybe make a freemium version of it or a light version of it where people can play with it, whatever, and then they can purchase the big product later. That's what we're doing with my Kraken, which is my N8N competitor. There's going to be a free version, but like our big paid products are going to be like Copilot driven, enterprise level stuff, but there's definitely going to be a nice, juicy, free playground for people. And there's a book that I recommend for you. It's called Free. It's the art of making money with free products. And they do talk about freemiums. You can also use the free trial thing, which is get 2 weeks free. As long as you sign up for the auto pay, like in good faith, you get 2 weeks free. I'm actually giving away a free month of coaching for Airbnb right now. That's the thing. So as long as you agree to continue with me after that first month, you'll get your first month for free. That's something I'm doing. If you want to learn Airbnb, my YouTube channel has put that in the description of the video. And then we still have to ask ourselves, who's capable of buying our product? At small price points, we don't have to actually ask this question. Anybody should be able to afford $2 for a singular photo. It's a good tripwire to get someone to spend $45 later. Anybody can spend $20 on an app, but once you get to enterprise level things that are really expensive, we do have to find the right buyer. And there's a phrase that we use in sales, which is second money is easier to get than first money. So for example, my coaching program, that $8,500 Airbnb coaching program, we've got a few different widgets and you guys can steal all of these, right? We have free give me's. We've got PDF files that show people the Airbnb algorithm visualized. We've got a book. I wrote the book on pricing strategy. So it's on Amazon. It's like $32. And anybody who buys my Airbnb pricing strategy book for $32 becomes a lead in my greater pipeline. Pricing school. You can get it for less than $80 for the first level, less than $300 for both levels. And that's also a tripwire, right? Second money is easier to get than first. So somebody gets, in for $50 for the first level. We try to upgrade them. Then we try to upgrade them to coaching later. Facebook groups are a great way to get somebody into a space where you can build trust with them until they buy a small product. You can have ebooks that are free or cheap. You can have free consultations, free business teardowns, free demos, stuff like that. Those are great tripwires to get people in. We have a free course that people use, and 4 videos in, and then 11 videos in, and then 20 videos into that free course, we inject calls to action. So I've got a video that says, join our Facebook group. I've got a video that says, get this free guide on how to furnish your property. I've got another video that says, take this algorithm course because you're gonna need to learn how to use the algorithm, or take this pitching Airbnb landlords course, and I give them like a choose your own journey of small products to buy. So around the big product that you sell, you might want to have little bite-sized things. And if we steal from N8N, here's one thing that they really did too that I don't think I'm going to do, okay? Because I don't work well with others. But N8N allowed for contributors. The fact that they went open source for a long time, and then their revenue stream has to do with enterprise level solutions and team related solutions or cloud compute. There's still ways to make money, even though it seems like your product is free. Almost every way, shape, and form that it's free. And so this is where I want to challenge you in a couple of ways. Finding a buyer who can spend a lot of money can be tough, but finding people who can use your product for free, that should be a lot easier. And people using your product for free will validate your product. It will allow you to beta test your product. It will also allow you to find out that you built something that people aren't going to use, at least not the way that you thought. For example, my photo factory has completely changed since I launched. People would upload their photos in a form. We still have that legacy version, but we tripled our revenue the moment I realized that people weren't using my product because uploading files is like tenuous and they'd have to download them off of Airbnb or something, right? So I created this fire crawl solution where they upload their Airbnb link, we scrape the photos, and in just a couple clicks they buy, and it tripled our sales. This is an example of something that you could not discover until you go live at scale enough to know how people really use the product. When I launch my N8N competitor, I'm sure that people are going to try to do stuff that I didn't even consider, and I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board and rebuild the product to some degree. So consider a freemium, consider a beta group, Those people will help you generate testimonials. It'll give you word of mouth. You can then have referrals for the beta group where they can promote your product too, and they can get commission for it when you sell it. I do want to beat this dead horse because I like it so much. Find a way for most of your product to be free and then gate the most premium stuff into a monthly membership. There's something that I call token arbitrage, which we'll be teaching a lot on this channel. And the AI Photo Factory is token arbitrage. The N8N thing will actually have a token arbitrage element too, which is that you can build something that utilizes tokens as a spend, and then you just upcharge the amount that it costs you for those tokens. And so you can build a product that gets a bunch of people to touch something and they want to go really fast. Kind of like Candy Crush. People want to spend the 99 cents so they can keep playing, right? You get someone in and they've got limits, right? And that's one thing that Anthropic can teach us all about, right? Once somebody hits limits, they have to spend some money, right? And this is the thing that people are willing to do. Create a product that people could actually hit limits on and like exhaust the free version of, and then people will pay you to continue utilizing the thing once their free allotment has been covered. And yeah, that can be expensive sometimes. So be careful on how much free you give. And if you really believe in your product and you really believe that people will spend on it, then you can do a small group freemium thing. You might need to pocket a couple $1,000s of tokens and to make sure that you don't like run out of free stuff for these people, and then unload it to a group of 20 people, let them use it, beta test it, and then see to what frequency people will opt in to start spending money on the back end with premium tokens. At this point, you can find out how quickly your cash will come in from people exhausting the freemium version and then buying more stuff at a markup. And then that cash lifecycle can then let you know how much cash you need in reserves for marketing. And you can know for every $300 I spend on new users, they will also spend $400 on tokens before we start to get money back. But then after about 6 weeks on those users that we spent $700 total at the top between advertising and free tokens, we get our money back in 6 weeks and start to profit. That would be an important customer life cycle fact for you to know. And I could scale a business to $1 million a month if I know that. What is my maximum cost of acquisition based on the percentage of people that start paying me? And what is my horizon to become liquidated for those people? And then I can start to deploy my capital effectively. This is the most important stuff that you can do with your Vibe coded product. Make it easy to adopt. Make it easy to trust, not only easy to understand, but also easy to use. We want to lower every barrier. I've been telling people, build for stupid and build for lazy. Making it where people can upload their link for Airbnb is building for lazy. Building an AI copilot that you say, hey, I'm trying to accomplish this one thing, but N8N is big and scary, build it for me. That's building for stupid. And it's not to offend people, but we've got a ton going on. And if I can create a superpower product that people just need to lightly describe what they want, and the superpower product can deliver them a good final version of something, or at least a good draft, just like Lovable, just like Cursor, just like Replit, this is what they're doing. They're building for stupid, or they're building to collapse the learning curve. So design your product for mass adoption by collapsing the learning curve, collapsing the trust barrier by having a free entry to it so people can start to like learn through context, give money back guarantees, have a beta team, let the beta team make affiliate commissions to share your thing, use token arbitrage as your backend model, start with a small group and see how the cash moves. And once you learn how the cash moves, then you can scale it. But what I just did say with all of this is the thing that you built right now probably won't be the thing that you're selling. You're going to have to change a couple times over because you built with your bias what you think the world needs, and you need about 100 customers to tell you that you're wrong, and then you'll build the right version. So let some people in. That learning experience and the time opportunity cost before you get that feedback is actually costing you money. So be a little humble, find your customers where they are, invite them in to try it for free, learn from them. Once they love you, they'll become a testimonial too. And it all starts to fit together. If you have questions about sales, the story that you want to tell to the person that you're going to promote to online, how to build your personal testimonial, how to sell, ask me in the comments. I have been a sales guy for 20 years. I will help you find the way to sell your Vibe coded product. I promise you that. Thanks so much for your support. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. We're going to do a lot on this channel. I'm really excited to share my world of many experiences with you guys. Thanks as always. And oh, by the way, watch this video next. If you do like my take on things, I think you're going to like this. I'll see you guys on the other side.